Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I did this because of COVID. So I've done a few Zoom ones. So I'm still a little rusty with Zoom. So how this is done is I can go direct or indirect, which I prefer indirect, is where I would bring up some things. And if you can take some of the information or just a little bit of an information. But before I start all that, how many people have been in a demonstration with a medium? Okay, so how many people have watched James Van Praagh or John Edwards or someone like that, where they give some information? You may be able to take some of the information. You may be able to take all of the information, and there may be two or three. So then I would try to decide who it is, and it's just a matter of doing proof of life. If you could please answer yes or no and not give too many details, that would be great. And sometimes what I often have is I'll say some things and someone will say to me later on, oh, I remember that. Also, some things that happen when I do a demonstration is you may not remember some things. So it's good to just keep a note and write it down. Another thing is if I have two people and a lot of things are identical, please listen up, because the information may also be for you. And lots of times the messages are basically for everyone who is in the room. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about that? Michelle, you look so pretty over there, just smiling.
I love that you're here.
Oh, okay. So does anyone have any questions? And also sometimes when the energy starts running, I can talk a little bit fast. So don't be afraid to ask me to slow down just a little bit, okay? All righty then. So what I want to say to you is I do have a gentleman here. This gentleman, I could say he's about 5'7". He doesn't have any hair. He does wear some wireframe glasses. He wears a white shirt. He has a shirt on, okay? And his shirt is like a pocket, and he keeps his glasses in his shirt. So he's very meticulous about what he does. When you go, he works in an office atmosphere. And so when I see him and in his office atmosphere, he has lots of papers on his desk. So I would say that he works somewhere around legal issues, or he does something with lawyers or with paperwork or with a patent. He also had a spouse, and his spouse has like a white hair and wears it pretty short. Both of these couples, this couple is very, they're very short. Not very short, but they're just medium height. And they were a very, very cute couple whenever you saw them. She did work in the home and he worked outside of the home. And I would kind of say this gentleman is here basically for his daughter or for his niece. Would anybody take a gentleman with a spouse? Would you understand any of that information? Okay, so I will continue to go on. Okay, so this gentleman died early. Alice, I'm going to ask you to come in the room to see if you can identify anything about this gentleman, only because his spouse disfavors you a little bit.
The only person that in my life that meets that description, but he doesn't have a spouse, is a cousin of mine who was very close to his family, but he died in his 30s. He died very, very young. and who the only thing I could think of is the spouse could be a member of his extended family.
Okay, would you understand that this gentleman worked with paperwork and that he always had piles of paperwork? He was also very stressed about all of the things that he did, and that's why he was disoriented for that. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and would he also consider the family members his grandchildren or his children?
More like sisters.
More like sisters. So everyone was very, very close to him. Would
Correct.
you understand that he was very much in solitude?
In what?
In solitude, like he kept very to himself.
Totally. Yes.
Okay.
He had a very private life, and nobody infringed on that.
No one infringed on that. Okay. So what I'm saying is he is there with another woman. Perhaps I was incorrect. That is his spouse. Would it be his mother? Would his mother have like white hair, and she would be almost like the same height as this gentleman?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't recall saying he was 57. I don't recall giving the age on that one. Okay. Would you also say that the mother was someone that she would tell him what to do, and she would tell the family what to do all the time? But she did work
very
in the
domineering.
home.
Yeah.
Okay, but she did work in the home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so she was always being very informative. She's also saying to me, there's a lot of people that are informative during this time of year. During this time, everybody's like a yak. Nobody's really listening to the other person. Would you understand that? Would you find a lot of people aren't really listening, not really gathering and coming into their own? Would you understand that?
Not sure if that's the way she presented herself. It's like when she spoke, it was the word of law. She
True.
didn't want
And so what she's saying is,
her.
But what she is saying is now, and she realizes that she was yak, and she didn't listen. And so she's saying there's a lot of people like that now, where they're not listening to what is going on in life, and they should just be coherent as to what's going on, because there's a lot of things being said and they're missing it because they know everything.
Okay.
Would you understand that?
Yeah, that would describe her very well.
Okay. And so she's saying what she's saying with that is she sees that you're teaching, but she wants you to reach out to more people. You know, you're teaching in your comfort zone. She wants you to go outside of your comfort zone. She's saying that sometimes you are you are also a little bit where you're a hermit. And she's asking you to just be yourself like you used to be. Okay? It's okay to reach out. and she understands that COVID is there, but the protection is there also. And there's also those things in place where you can reach out and be more open. She says she likes the TV screen thing where everybody's talking, but she says in person is really good. And we kind of need to get back to that, where we are in tune with people. Would you understand that? She's also sending you her love. And she's saying, you have done great things and you've really crossed some hurdles. And she's understanding that you're battling with illness. She's saying, but you've got this. You've got this, and you're rolling on it. Okay. And please take my love. Would you understand that message?
Totally.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That she's a gal I haven't thought about in years and years and years and years, but spot on for what you said.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so now I have a grandmother, and I'm going to say she's a little bit on the Italian side. She's maybe a little bit stocky. For some reason, she lived into the city. For Italian, she talks Italian. She does a lot, but she really wasn't the greatest cook and the stay-at-home mom. But she was a grandmother, and she did hold the family together. And she is she's explaining that she died in a hospital room, and she's showing me that there's 3 people there. And she held on for a long time. Like she should have died, but she was just holding on for someone to show up so that she could just let them know that she loved them. Because for some reason, as a grandmother who was Italian, she's just saying that she could not express herself in love that way. Can anybody take this grandmother or mother? Neil, I'm looking at you. Could you come into the room, please?
Me?
Yes. Yes.
I'm not Italian. I don't have Italian.
You don't have to be Italian. She was.
I don't have Italian relatives.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm just asking because I do see her around you, and that's why I was asking. She's just showing that she was Italian, so it's okay. But could you please listen anyway?
Okay.
Can anyone take that they had an Italian grandmother or an Italian great grandmother on either side of the family that could not express love, and she could not cook. She was not one of the greatest cooks. Like she didn't do that, but she was very good with children, and she lived in a city. No one can take this lady. Yes, Elizabeth.
So my husband is Italian, and his mother, she had 7 children. The first one died. So she had 6 children, and one was my husband. And she was a grandmother, but she died at home. And
Was she ill for a long time, and she waited for someone to come there before she died because she just needed to see that person. But what I could say is when I'm looking in this room, I see the room, and the room is basically white. There is not a lot of color there. There is like the bed has panels on it. When you go out into the hallway, it's a dark hallway. I'm not sure if you know what this house looks like, or have you ever
I
seen
know
it?
the apartment where she died in Italy.
Okay, so it was an apartment. It was always, most of the rooms were white in that apartment.
They
Would
were
you
painted
understand that down in the living room, there was a little lamp, and it had kind of like, it was like a chandelier kind of looking, but it had the little drape things on the lamp. That was down. Would you see that? Would you understand that?
I don't remember that, but she had
Okay.
leukemia. She had a type of leukemia, blood cancer that took her life, and she cooked all the time, but I didn't think she was the best cook, and she didn't think she was the best cook. But this would be my husband's mother. But
Okay.
she lived in a town, not a big city.
This is like, it's like an apartment, sort of like I see like steps or something. Do not see where everything that's around, and it could be like a rural area to me. This is just what I'm seeing. And I also see like the name of the street. Is it like a Clark Street or something like that where it was? And
it was called Via Darbedo.
Okay.
Via Darbedo is where the apartment was. But the town is Canobio.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So that kind of makes sense. But would you understand that she held on for a long time? Like she was supposed to die, and she just held on. And then one person came, and that's finally when she crossed over. And I did want to say that it was a male that showed up, and then she crossed over after that. So it could be your husband that's there, but she's given me the significance of what this apartment looks like because first she decorated herself. I assume that's what she did. Uh, and she's also talking about where she could not express love. And
No,
that's
she could
very
not.
important. Okay.
She
Okay,
could not,
because-
and I think that my husband suffered from that, and so did the other siblings.
Oh, okay. She said towards the end, she did understand what love was, but it was kind of like too late at that time.
Mhm.
And she's saying that it could have felt at times where things were just very, very cold. And she said that was the only way I could express myself. And please forgive me that I was not able to give that hug or to give that kiss or to pull about some closeness. And I
She was
feel
very cold person,
Mhm.
and hardly would smile. She'd almost never smile, and she didn't love herself. She had huge issues with self-love too, I believe.
Okay, yes. And she's saying that during that time, I struggled too.
Yeah.
And it was not correct for me to put my struggles onto my family. And could they please understand that? Because now that I'm on the other side, I understand what love is, and I understand what I missed and what I did not give to my family.
Yes.
And I just wish I could have done the things a little bit better. Could you understand that message?
Yes, I understand that message, but she also lacked the love that she needed as a child growing up too. So it was like a generational thing. She lacked it from her family, her mother.
Yes. And that's exactly what she's saying, that it was something that was innate from family to family, not displaying love.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank
Also,
you.
Alice, thank you for allowing me to read for you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. Joyce, can I just ask you to
Unmute.
yeah, okay. Because I keep looking at you and then I'm saying, well, no, it's not that. It's not that. So I'm trying to get that together. Okay. So Joyce, would you understand a woman, sort of similar curly hair, perhaps a little bit taller? I'm going to say a grandmotherly love. And she did a lot of things with her hands. It would not necessarily would be like sewing. It would be knitting. It would be all the things that she could do with her hands. Very crafty, but with material. Would you understand a woman like that?
Could it be my aunt? I don't know.
It could be. Would you understand a woman who was married to a gentleman that was taller than her, and when he had on his suits, they always looked a little big?
No.
No, you wouldn't understand this gentleman. Okay, let me go back and say, okay, so she's telling me, were your clothes made for you when you were a child?
No.
Not necessarily, not bought in a store. And how about your mother? Was her clothes made? Was your mother's clothes made for her?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, this lady is showing me that she made clothes and she made them for her kid. And she's definitely around you. So let me go back and see, would you understand anything being made for you as a child? As far as clothing, a coat, anything like that by a relative, because that's what this lady did. It was either crochet, she did knit, she did anything, everything like that with her hands.
Not
My mom did.
Your mother did?
Yes.
She made your clothes?
She made my clothes. She made her clothes. She knitted. She crocheted all the time. I have a million hats. She did have short curly hair.
She had short curly hair. Was her husband tall and his suits were a little bit big for him?
Well, my dad was 5'11", and I don't really think his suits look too big for him.
What was his clothes like, not tight fitting, like they were a little bit loose on him? Because that's what they're showing me about this gentleman.
Oh, I don't know. I think they fit pretty well. They weren't slim fit, but normal.
Okay, they weren't slim fit, but they were kind of baggy, maybe loose. Maybe he he didn't wear, I wouldn't say that it was hand-me-downs, but they're showing me the significance of this gentleman not having things that I don't know, that they just don't fit correctly. Like they look like he borrowed them or something like that.
No, my dad was always quite elegant.
He was always quite elegant.
Yeah, he always dressed nicely. So I don't know. Maybe that's someone else. I don't know.
It could be. Okay, but okay, so let's go back to the woman, because she's showing me that this gentleman that she's with does not dress, the clothing is a little bit big. But could you also tell me, does your dad wear a hat? Because there's a significant, and I think it's like a tipper hat that a gentleman would wear. Was he a hat wearer?
He was a hat wearer. He would wear like, the tweed caps like in the UK.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, he would often wear a cap or a hat.
He would often wear a cap or a hat, because they are showing me that hat. And he didn't go very many places without a hat. Would you understand that?
Yeah, he always had a hat with him, or a cap, a baseball cap, a tweed cap. He had hats.
Okay. He died with chest issues, like he had problems with his breathing, because he's showing me something going on here with his lungs, and he died before his time. Like he should have lived a little longer, but he didn't take care of himself that well. Would you understand that with your dad?
Not exactly. He had Alzheimer's disease and he died at 84.
Okay.
But I know that at the end
he's showing me that he had lung issues in the end. He is showing me some lung issues, some things that are going on, like emphysema or something like that with the lungs. He's showing me that part of him. He's also showing me the hat, and he's showing me that his hair, like he lost his hair on the top, so he would wear it on the side, and he looks very, very frail. Would you understand that?
At the end, yes, he was a bit bald on the top, and at the end, he was extremely frail, and he had that difficult breathing that some people have before they cross over.
Mm-hmm.
That
right,
rattling noise. I don't know how to describe it.
That's like an emphysema, something that's going on in the chest.
It was just the last few days.
Just the last few days. Well, he's saying that's what crossed him over. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, so what he's also saying is that he is talking about the last 10 to 15 years of his life that he really didn't remember why he was on Earth, and he was very confused during that time. So if he said things, he hopes that you all understood that he was not in his right mind. Could you take that from him?
Yes, of course. We understood that
Okay.
the dementia, the Alzheimer's was coming into his body. Yes.
Well, he's saying that right now he is very, very cognitive. So if you do talk to him and convey messages, he can hear very clearly. And he's talking about from everyone in the family to please talk to him, because now he's saying he can give you a good direction, because back then he felt like things were reversed. But he also feels as though he could have done things to prevent it, because when they were telling him that he was getting sick, he ignored it.
He did. He didn't want to face it. And he didn't want to, because has been Alzheimer's in the family, his aunts and his sister, and he was always worried about that for himself. But he saw it coming, but at the same time, he didn't want to face it at all.
Okay, okay. So he's saying, please understand that don't ignore things when people tell you that. Just check into them and try to take care of yourself. He said, because he had a real hard time not being on point with his mind.
Yes.
And he knows that he was hurting people, and there was like no way he could clean it up while he was on earth, but he can try to do that now. Could you take that message with you, Elizabeth?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm trying to make sure I get to everybody because it's a small crowd, okay?
Yes.
Okay, I have a younger lady now, and I'm going to say she's like a sister or a good friend. And she's showing me herself like in a party dress. So she really loved to go out and party, and she loved to have a great time when she was younger. And she's here for her friend or her sister like friend. She wore like little mini dresses. She wasn't really a heavy drinker, but she did like to drink wine and some occasional drinks. You two went out to parties when you were around the age of 20 to like 25 or 30. After that, she settled down and had a family, and she just became very reclusive. But she is showing me that she had a terminal illness that kept her away from things. And so she had problems with her legs, which is the reason why she stopped going out partying so much. And she also says that she loved to dance. Allison, are you waving your hand there?
I don't think so.
Oh, I
Sorry.
see your hands waved there. That's why. Okay. Can anybody take a friend that they used to party with when they were young? No? No one went out to clubs or anything when you were young with your friend who died from an illness, nothing like that? Okay. Okay, she's also saying that did anybody grow up with a friend and you never went out to have a drink or have a party or a friend that danced or anything? Okay. Well, let me step back and see if she has some more information. Is your name Martian or Miller down there in the bottom? I can't really pronounce it.
Martine.
Okay,
Yes.
Martine. Did you have a friend that you used to go out with when you were younger?
That passed away? No. Not anybody that passed away that I'm aware of that I used to dance with when I was younger.
Okay,
Unless
but
it was somebody that, when I was very young. I can't think of anybody in particular.
someone like before the age of 25?
I don't know anybody that passed away though.
Okay. Did you have a friend and she always wore like a party dress?
I mean, I was in the Army. I had a lot of friends that I used to dance with at one point in time, but none of them that I'm aware of that are deceased.
Okay, because I just brought that out to you because I just felt like it was you. So how about you, Naomi?
Are you
Or
talking about
Nami,
me?
I'm sorry. I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly.
Yeah, it's Nomi. No,
Nomi.
that's not familiar to me.
It's not familiar to you either? Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna ask her to step back unless she can tell me something that identifies does anybody have someone that has a friend that likes like a Tom Collins or strawberry daiquiri drink, and every time they went out, they had to have one of those drinks? Sort of like on the line of a pina colada, and it had to have a flower in it because this lady was very peculiar about her drinking. Okay, I'm going to ask her to step back and have someone else come in because no one can identify her. My cat is back here banging noise. Okay, Joyce, I'm going to ask you to come into the room. All right. Okay, so for Joyce, I have a gentleman here for you. He's a very sweet gentleman. He worked very hard. He also was very good with plants and gardening and farming. He was a father type. He was more of a grandfather type. He loved to do lots of things with his hands. He was very loving with his family. He shows me that he read the newspaper a lot. He's showing me that he had a certain chair that he would sit in to read the newspaper on the evening. I do see that he owned a truck. He's showing me that he has sort of like an older truck, and he not necessarily living in the city, but not necessarily in the country either. Would you understand that, gentleman?
No.
No. Would you understand a gentleman that his family came, but he loved vegetables. He loved growing the plants and working in the yard. You wouldn't understand that?
Can't hear you.
He loved working in the yard. He loved planting things or anything like that.
No, I don't know anybody that enjoyed planting things or anything like that.
Not very good with gardening, okay? Would you understand this gentleman, before he became a family man, he walked a long ways? Because he's showing me that he's walking down a road. And this gentleman was very close to two of his brothers. He had two brothers. He was the middle of the two brothers.
No.
No? Would anyone else have someone who is very good with gardening?
Yes. That was, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, no, I know somebody that was good at gardening. He was like a grandfather figure to me.
Okay.
Yeah. And
He had two brothers. He was the middle brother.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And he walked a lot before he became settled with family.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, because he's showing me the soles of his shoes.
Yeah, he did a lot of walking, and I understood what that means. It's he was in real estate, so he did a lot of walking. He went to the army, so that was the thing with the truck. So that's what I know. So when he came back, so yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so he is showing me that he has a truck and real estate. Okay, that kind of makes some sense. Okay, would you understand that he did a lot of, he missed working with his hands. He really wanted to be out in the country, and he really wanted to to grow crops and have a farm. But he did the real estate thing just to feed his family, just to
Yeah.
make sure that there was food on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Farm too. So that's where he gets that. He grew up in a farm. So
Okay.
that's where he gets that. Yeah. I remember him planting all the time with my grandmother, and I would plant with him and he would tell me stories about this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And okay. So also, the one thing that he's saying to me, would you understand the story of he's talking about as a kid of the whole family coming together because they had a problem on the farm, and I'm assuming things were flooded out or the grain was not right, and they really struggled. So they found new ways to grow crops, even when the family struggled. Would you understand that?
Yes. He's about that with me and my grandmother. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And he also loved to tell these stories because the one thing that he picked out of all of these stories was his achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they were very, very important, because to him, no matter what he went through and no matter how hard he struggled, he always achieved and he reached exactly what he needed to reach. And that was feeding his family, growing the crops, or even selling a home.
Yes.
Okay. And would you understand that he's telling you that you can reach the same goals and achievements, and he feels like you're holding some things back?
Yeah.
So you really need to put that stuff forward. And the old stories, he said, some of them still work.
Yes. Yes, I understand what he's saying. Yes, thank you. I'm actually trying to study to become a real estate agent because of him. So yes, thank you. That's very inspiring. I appreciate the message. Yes.
Okay. All right then. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to read. And your grandfather is really, really sweet. Did he wear a bow tie from time to time? Because he's showing me this bow tie that is with him. Okay. And he's saying you can achieve great things. Please, please, please. You can achieve great things. Okay.
Thank you. That I share that message with my family. So I consider him like a grandfather, and he considered me like a granddaughter, because I never got a chance to meet my mom's dad, and he met my mom's dad, and it was amazing though. He just had such a great sense of humor and just a wonderful, kind family man, and just very sweet. So thank you for the message. I really appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, Spirit saying, yes, I know I'm trying to get these people out. Okay, so now I have a line of them, and I still have this lady coming back. I also have someone's dog here. Did someone have like some animals that just crossed over? I know Michelle, she's not here, but I think I have her cat that just recently crossed over.
I know about my uncle has cats. I just came from.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to. It's not a message, but I know. Because I know about the cats. He had a lot of cats. He actually had a cattery, so that's what. But you talk about cats, that's and Jerry was his name. He had cats too, so I know all about cats.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think that was just the ending to let you know that he is okay on the other side.
Yeah, that was just visited I consider her like my aunt, her house, and she had three. So I think that's just kind of like the message that I felt like she was there with me today at the house. So I think that was the message. Yeah.
Okay, so was your aunt, when she was did she party a lot?
Yeah, she did. She did. She unfortunately she was an alcoholic though.
She was an alcoholic, but she always had to have a specific drink whenever she was out.
She does. She passed away in her 50s though. So, but I think.
Okay, so that would have been the correct age, and then so after her 30s, she didn't party that much, but she did kind of was
Yeah.
reclusive, but she
She went-
always had to have that drink.
Yeah, she would
And she
always,
danced.
yeah, she danced. Yeah, I think that was, yeah, that was her. Yeah, that was the symbol of the cat.
Okay.
Yes, I
It's
think,
okay.
yes,
It's okay.
yes.
Thank you
Yeah.
for clearing that up for me. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's her. Yes. Yeah. She just, she loved to go out with my uncle and everything. And I think they actually met like at a party. So like when she was in her 20s. So I think that's where I think that kind of comes from. So yeah.
And she did wear a party dress a lot.
Oh yeah, she wore a party dress. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, she just definitely, she loved rock and roll though. I don't know, like in terms of clubs, but that was kind of her scene. So but I know she liked to party, and that was yeah.
Okay. So we all see how the spirit world works. If you don't pick up the first person, they bring someone else in to try to clarify that they are still there. Okay.
Yeah. That
Okay.
I'm glad. I thank you for the message. So that's the message. I've been dreaming about her a lot. So I think
Oh, have you really?
yeah. So and it's interesting also, Jari too, who's crossed over, just came through. I've been dreaming about him too. But yeah, I think they're both kind of letting me know like everything is gonna be okay. That's what I feel like in the dreams. So that's thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for that.
everything is going to be fine. The two of them are together now, and she still has her drink, but it's non-alcoholic. And even if it was alcoholic, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I never got to say goodbye to her when she passed away. And I went and I sung a talent show, and I dedicated the song to her, and it was I Love Rock and Roll. So I just want to know if she knows that. That's my message, but I'm sure she does.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Here I go again. Okay. This time I have a gentleman with me. He's a middle-aged man. He's a person of stature. He was a little bit on the heavy side, but he smoked a cigar, and he would always sit up, and people would listen to the things that he had to say. I would say he was somewhat in public speaking, or he was someone who spoke a lot, but he always sat in his chair. He wasn't very, yeah, I would say he was about 5'9", 5'10", so he was tall where people would listen to him. He worked in a public building, because he's showing me the building that he works in, and on the outside of the building, I could see it was someplace for law, or there was something that went on. This gentleman also walked to work. It wasn't very far from him. He also lived near a train station, because I can hear the trains going by. And when he spoke with confidence. And he just always had that stature, and people always went to him for information. This gentleman, he's saying that he was a father. He was the father of a father. Can anyone take a gentleman that spoke with stature, that worked in a public building? He walked to work. He lived near train stations, and he smoked a cigar. It wasn't all the time. Donna, are you raising your hand?
Nope, I am not raising my hand, and I am not familiar with this person. I don't know anyone who ever smoked a cigar.
No,
Sorry, Michelle.
that's okay. I just saw your hand was raised. Maybe I
Oh,
should
no,
put my glasses.
no.
Okay. Can anyone take a grandfather gentleman that worked in a public building? Sort of like public speaking or anything like that? Okay, let me go back and ask him for some more information. He's saying to me that when he talked, he crossed his legs. He always sat erect. When family came, he sat in a certain place. He had an office in his home. He is telling me that no one can take this gentleman.
Yeah, I think possibly I may understand it. No, I don't want to take the time, but I think I understand it. This could actually be my mother's father. So I think
Your mother's father? Okay.
I've never heard of him in a reading before. So I think that's I think he's just kind of coming through. I think he yeah.
I've had a night like that where every time there were readings, it was just me. Okay.
Terrible, but I think it's probably very much needed now with what's going on with me and my family. So that's probably why. And I think he was the glue of the family. He was actually a doctor. And so I believe it's him. So he had an office in his home.
Okay. But he did smoke a cigar occasionally, because that's the one thing that he's pointing to me that would make a difference. But he worked in a public building. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, so he would also work in the hospital too. So he would forth, and that was, as they gone older and everything. That's what my mom, my uncle, my aunt. So, but yeah, that's what he.
Okay, let me go in and see exactly. Okay, so this is what I'm going to put out. So far we've had 3 people come for you, and there's a message there for you and your family. And it's because right now you're going through a lot of struggle and strife, and each one are coming through, not necessarily for you, but for different family members that you have to relay these messages on. He's coming through. Someone smokes, or they did smoke, or they're having some problems in the lung area. He wants that to really be taken care of, because he's saying this illness runs down the family line. So he's saying, please look at that. Also, the reason he came to me like in a legal term, not necessarily in a medical term. So he's trying to say to you, there's some legal battles that you have to come, and you need to overcome them, as well as I'm assuming there's the male that has the lung problems that it's here.
Yeah, that's my uncle.
Okay, so that's your uncle. He really needs to pay attention to that, because to take care of that. As far as everyone else, you really need to take care of those legal problems to make sure that they're all put together. Okay.
I believe that's for me, my finances, possibly. So I think that's what it is. Yeah.
It just make sure that they're taken care of, because in the long run, it's going to affect you, and it's not going to be in a positive way. So they're all here slowly giving you a message. They're also saying that sometimes you listen, but you don't listen. So this is another reason why they're doing this, because they want to make sure that you get the message.
Yeah.
And they're saying you're not hogging. They're saying we planned this.
Yeah. They're very loving, wonderful family. And, and I've heard such great stories about him. And I think that's the message that I need to share with my family right now, because we've got a lot. My grandmother's in the process of moving, and it's just been, each offer has been declined. And it's just been struggling. So I think I'll definitely relay the message to her too. That's what I think.
So part of it is you're not really looking at the legal there's some things that are being missed, and that's where you're having problems. But they're saying they're planting the seeds for all of you to grow. Could you take that message from them, because I have them all here.
Yes, and that was what my mom wanted to share with me today, that that she grew these beautiful flowers, and she was showing me, like, the woman that was singing and dancing and everything and drinking, that in her home, that this was her home where she grew up. And so that's a beautiful message. That's what I'm trying to on today. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Okay. And I also want to tell you that my heart goes out to you, and you do have a great support system on the other side.
Okay. Thank you. God bless you, everybody here. God bless.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I have a lady here, and I'm going to say she's like maybe 60 or 70. Alice, I think this is your mother, because she's showing me the Mediterranean Sea, not the Mediterranean Sea, the sea over there. I've had your mother through before. I'm sorry, Alice. Your mother.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mother?
Yes, she's showing me that the ocean out before. That's how I recognized her.
Okay, Baltic Sea. She's been around me for like 3-4 days, and so I'm not surprised if she came in, because I kept thinking, oh my God, she's so determined to tell me something.
I was trying to describe her, and the first thing she did was gave me the image of the first time that I read for her. And she's saying that she's helping you right now, and you're right. She is around you all the time, and she wants you to know that she's sending you and your husband is so much love, and she also wants to say to you that cats are really healing, and
I believe that.
okay, they're very, very healing. And I forget it. She said, this cat is like your familiar. Took the cat up some time to get to you, but it's your familiar. And that's why there's such a closeness and a bond there.
Yeah, because they, I mean, I can feel it. I mean, the love from that cat just oozes out, both to me and to my husband. And I was more than happy to keep her right away. Well, Bob, after 5 months, just gave up the fact that we're gonna, she's going back. So anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she's saying in the terms of familiar, I don't know if you know what that means, but she's saying yes. And cats are very healing. So this is a healing cat. And that is why the cat is there. And it took some time for the cat to get to you.
Interesting. Thank you. Yeah, because I've known the cat from the moment I met my daughter-in-law, which is at this point over 10 years ago, so.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the message that she has. And of course, she's always sending you love. And she's always that view is just so beautiful to her. And sometimes when she's not around you, that's exactly what she's looking at, because she just loves that view.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a grandfather here. He's bald on top. He has brown hair. He was church going. He was very much into the church. I would say he wasn't the pastor, but maybe he helped a lot. He did a lot with the community. As he was growing up, he struggled a lot with family to make ends meet, but there was always food on the table. He talks about he misses being in the church, but sometimes he goes. He did come from a family who was very heavily in the church. That's what they did in this, Sunday school and Bible school, and all those things was very important to him. He did whatever he could. Like, there was no certain job that he had to provide for his family, but it was just whatever he could to make ends meet. Did someone have a grandfather like that, or a father type? And he's showing me that this time, because of the car situation, they're old cars. So we're back in the 60s, more like the early 70s. And would anyone have a grandfather like that? Or a father type?
I actually know somebody with my grandmother. It was like her uncle Ned was a pastor. So I know about the stories, but I don't I don't I don't want to be like this is but I think this is a message for my grandma, and I think that's loud and clear. I think I'm not sure. This
Did he have a job where it was just whatever he could do to make ends meet?
Yes.
A certain job? Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, but yes.
Okay, just let me see what he has to say. Again, it's back to the struggles that you can do whatever you can to make ends meet. Not necessarily that you have to have a certain career type.
Yeah, I understand that. That message is for me. That's what I understand, that message. And that's what my mom was trying to get through to me today too, also. So
Okay.
that he's around, and yeah, no, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask Spirit to come back in again, and we're going to try 2 more for today. Okay, I have a woman here. She has a very, not necessarily an accent, but she was head of the family. She's showing me that she had I guess they're like wingtip glasses. She has a hat on, and it has like just a little bit of netting around the house. She was quite tall. She carried herself very, very well. She was also someone who was very much into the church. She taught Sunday school for Bible study. When she spoke, people listened. She also sang, I would say, in the church. Did anyone have someone who sang in the church?
I know his had done this. So that was my grandmother's Aunt Edna. So that was what I'm aware of. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I
told you you had a choir behind me.
I'm so sorry. I was actually in the choir. I'm so sorry. I'm
going to ask them all to come to step back just a little bit right now.
It's a good support team.
Okay.
I'm so sorry because
it's not a problem at all.
I think the message, this is for my grandmother, I believe. So that's what, for her, I think that may be it. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what it is, probably, because we're just going through a lot, myself, my family. So in our health and finances and where we are in our living situation, it's been really rough. So again, I'm sorry. So
No, don't apologize. I've had it. I've had when I was going through things, and I have spent a whole night of getting readings. So I understand. I understand perfectly.
your
Okay.
time, that's what, they're coming through.
Yeah, and you have to understand that before I do this session, I ask for the readings to come through for people that need it the most. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And that I bring healing to the evening.
Yeah, everybody, deserves a good reading and has this, and I just thank you for your gift, and I thank you for your time and everybody's time, and just right now, just it's a beautiful message always, with the rays of healing, all the different services. I always look forward to it, and I thank you right now for whatever message you're going to say. So
well, right now I'm going to send you healing out to kind of open your heart chakra a little bit, and just so that you have some understanding there. Okay, so I'm going to send my guides over to you.
thank you.
So do you feel a golden energy coming down right now? It's coming down through your crown.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm going to send in some peace and understanding.
Thank you.
And it's okay for you to receive love as well as give love.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's my cat.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Okay.
Cats are
Just
good.
calming blue light. Yeah.
I love animals, so they're wonderful. So it's a beautiful thing to have. That's an animal in your life. So thank you. That's what for
You're
the healing.
welcome. Okay, I'm going to send this energy to everyone who's there that I'm giving to her. Giving and receiving love. And a real calming blue energy. And centering all of you. Okay. Nice healing light. Is that better, Samantha?
Yeah, thank you. I actually feel like just like a big hug from the spirit world, from yourself. Like I just feel just love right now, and through my family right now, I'm going to definitely be telling them these messages, because it's just a wonderful thing to be able to how raise a feeling at yourself, everybody that's a part of this right now, and just blessings to everybody and your families, so, and friends, and I hope everybody gets the message, whatever they need to get. So here, so I thank you for sending me love, and I hope everybody also receives it too. So thank you. Blessings.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome anytime. And thank you all for really listening during this time and just being understanding that Samantha is going through some things right now. And the spirit world really wants to give her a message. Okay. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about some things that you've heard for the night? Donna, you still here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Does anybody, or understanding mediumship?
Did you ask earlier if someone had a dog who passed away?
Yes, I did. It was a white dog, a little dog. I call him the frilly dog, ankle biter kind of thing. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Nope, sorry, that's not me.
Oh, okay.
Mine was black.
Yeah, he, go ahead.
God,
That was
my grandmother, her sister had a white poodle. So it was a white dog, and she passed away of cancer. So her sister. So I think that,
Oh.
and I think that maybe a message possibly for, I came on a few minutes late because I was just, it's been a really rough day today, but I'm thankful to be here. And I think that's again, my grandmother, just knowing that, everything's okay. I have a dog. I think that's probably what, just to attitude of gratitude, just focusing on, that's what I feel like with the message. That's what I feel. That's what it's kind of like, just be thankful of where you are and focus on these things. And that's trying to share with one of my friends today too. I was just talking about. So thank you. I think that may be it, possibly. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how this stuff works, but
it's understandable. Okay.
It's that's what probably what it is. So yeah. I just, I feel all the love in the world right now, and this is what is, it's just a beautiful thing to come to any of these programs that Raise Healing have, and that your gift that you're sharing, and I just appreciate it so much that and I hope that everybody finds a love in this right now also through these messages, because I appreciate it. So I think, I don't know, and finds, the message, and they need to find however it may be, because I think it's so important that loved ones are there, and it's everybody communicates in different ways, and it's a beautiful message what you have. So thank you.
You're so welcome.
Hey, I'm Ash. I have a question if you're available.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of my work is connecting with my ancestors, and I do receive messages from the other side. I used to work in hospice and helping people transition pre-COVID, but so I do receive like a lot of messages when I need it. And what I'm trying to do now is like fine tuning my ability to connect and fine tuning my senses, but I don't feel like, or I still feel like, like I guess like hard of hearing, but it's like all of my senses, right? I guess I want to know how you, or like what practices you do daily to like kind of like fine tune your senses to receiving those messages.
Okay, well, lots of things. Some things that I do is I meditate. at least twice a day, sometimes 3 or 4. There's a meditation that we do as mediums to do the mediumship work. It's called Sitting in the Power. And it's where we open up and we just sit with spirit. I do that. I'm also going to teach a free class of understanding mediumship. It's not necessarily where it would make you a medium, but it's an understanding of how we connect as mediums and the difference between mediumship and psychic. Okay, and that might help you. And I can put my email in the address book, or you can ask Alice or someone for it, and I can give you more information that way. There's many things that you have to do. One is we have an analytical mind, so sometimes we think it's us. But as you go on and the more you develop, you'll start to feel it's a frequency number where you'll know different frequencies. So once you get a sense of the frequencies, you'll know when that spirit is coming in. And it's not psychic, but some information you do get psychic. So it's like an antenna that goes off and you feel the person who is crossed over, and then you also have your guides around you. But I could explain that a little bit more, probably in a mediumship class where you would understand it. And I could kind of give you diagrams on that, and that should help you. But if you're getting messages, sometimes if you don't know, just write them down and see, when those things start to happen or whatever. We all get messages. And I can see that you do open up. You're just trying to get it all together and figure out how to use it. So, and I'm also on Facebook, and my last name is Wyatt, W-Y-A-T-T. So you can get me out there on Facebook too. And when I do that class, which will probably be like next month, I think it'd be a good stepping stone for you to understand if this is something that you want to go to, or just if you want to use it for yourself and to convey messages.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to get your email. Thank you.
Okay. All right, then. Does anyone else have any information?
Hi, it's
Any
Monty.
questions? Yes.
I don't know if I have any information, but I just feel my son-in-law's presence in this house all the time. He passed away in November 2020. And it's just interesting. Like I'm not feeling his presence today, but I do frequently feel his presence in the space. And sometimes it's almost like he's watching over us. He was always very protective. So I don't know. I guess I was really curious about that.
I do sense that he is around you. A lot of one of the reasons is because he's a little bit worried about you, that you're not really taking care of yourself, and you are still grieving more so. How I feel about grieving is that you have to grieve in your own way, and you take one step at a time. You can't, what everybody else has for you may work, but what you work. But it's okay to grieve, but take care of yourself too, because you still have a lot more to move forward on. You're right. He is very protective. He's very protective over all of the family members.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want anyone to fall into what he fell into, as far as getting sick and leaving early. And he does send his love, and he does really, really care. It's just a whole lot. He's just got a whole lot there. And he's saying, please understand that his time on earth was over. And he knew that for a very, very long time. And he did not want to leave. But
didn't.
yeah, he did
He
not want to leave.
But he was incapacitated and he couldn't stay like that.
Yes. And so the thing that he's saying is what has happened is best because he can take care of you now. Whereas before he couldn't because he had no way to move. Okay.
And he is taking care of us.
Mm-hmm. But all of you take care of you. And he sends his love. And it's just always there. And he's just a thought away.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Alice, would you like to lead us in the closing prayer?
Absolutely. And so very gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Dear Mother, Father, God, divine, infinite spirit, source of all that is, we thank you so much for this presentation by Michaelle Wyatt. We thank you for her skill level, for her mediumship, for her willingness to share her gifts with us. And we ask for healing for the following: my son, my daughter-in-law, the new grandbaby on the way, the Jones family, Sweeney family, Zarnopis family, and especially all the people that are still going through the terrible conflict of war, whether it be Syria or Ukraine or the African nations, wherever it is, that war is not justifiable right now, but yet we continue to seek it out as a solution to our differences. And we ask for all the healing to be directed to these people. And Elizabeth.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone that is here, and thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Alice. And I would like to pray for my husband, my sons, my cats, my dogs, all of my family members, and for all of humanity, for Mother Earth, for the animal kingdom, and also for those that are in terrible situations all over the world due to all the reasons that exist that create great suffering for them. Thank you.
Thank you. And Michelle.
Yes, I'd also like to send prayers to Russia as well, because the people that live there are struggling too, and also all of my friends that live in Europe. And my father, my son, and my daughter, and my animals, as well as the people who are still suffering from COVID or the loss of COVID, and all of those people who have lost family members. Thank you. And everyone here.
Thank you, Michelle. And Christine.
Yes, I would like to ask for healing for my mom, for my dad, for John, for Sam, for myself, for Jen and Milo, for Anna, for Gaia, for all of the conflict zones that are going on right now, for just everyone here tonight, and for Milo. Thank you.
Thank you. And Montian.
I was fumbling with the mute button. Just continue prayer for my family and the healing process from grief and loss, and to continue to unify us And I just want to pray for healing in this world. I mean, there's such a disruptive spirit and it's going on in so many places, almost distracting sometimes. But I just pray for healing in the world, wherever it needs to be.
Thank you. Ashley.
Hi, yes, I give gratitude to my angels and guides and all of the people here that hold space for healing. And I ask for healing for my creativity's relationship to time. I ask for healing for the inhabitants of the earth during our climate crisis. I ask for healing for and love to go to the children in my family, and for abundance and health to go to my sisters. Thank you.
Thank you. And Carol.
Thank you. I pray for healing for myself from this illness that's been with me for a while now, for healing of this illness and all other needs for my own self to become strong and well and good. And likewise for my husband, for his needs, and for Beanie Bird and Beanie Bird's eyes healing, and Buddy Bird and his general overall wellness, and for, yeah, truly peace on earth. It's may this love and peace that exists on earth in truth, the truth of the love that is here in, from, through, to all beings, may that be what we see and know. And may all the angels and divinities and heavenly helpers and earth spirits and everybody really step up to the plate and help us, help the most particular, the human consciousness to see the truth and love and peace, and that there's enough for everyone and we can fix this. So please, miracle, 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 miracle. And thank you, God.
Thank you. Allison.
Oh, thank you. So thank you, Michelle and Alice and everyone else who shared tonight. Really wish you the best and offer you my support. And I hope that for all of us that all of the people who have come before us and loved us, that we can feel their love and guidance and be smart enough and open enough to listen. I'm talking about myself, not necessarily anyone else. And I'm actually really hoping that wherever it is that I'm supposed to go, or whatever it is I'm supposed to do, that answer come to me in a way that I can understand, because I'm completely oblivious. And I would just like to pray for everyone who needs some extra encouragement and resilience and fortitude, and and for relationships in all aspects of our lives, including my own, to be healed. And I hope that I can maybe get in a more positive, or not let negative stuff dominate my mind, because I actually think that it's probably not the truth, of everything that's going on around me.
Thank you. Kathy.
Hi. Just prayers for healing and peace and good orderly direction. Prayers that I move in the direction of my dreams and not somehow move in another direction. Thank you.
Thank you. And Pat?
I'd like to send healing to my family and myself and everybody on this call. I'd also like to see the light continue to overcome the darkness, and to be one of the people that can help heal the divisions that we have, because we have so many fires and it's so hard to put out all the fires at once. and we're all racing around with buckets. And so I'd like to hopefully have help from the other side to kind of guide us, show us which fire each of us can attack and assist in drawing in the light too, and hopefully and also for the people in Russia, because they really don't know what they don't know, and I need to suspend my judgment. So I need my higher self to come through and help me suspend my judgment as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Samantha.
Just want to do prayers for everybody here on this call for to have peace and harmony, prosperity, blessings, and for their families and animals that they have, and everybody at Raise the Healing. May everybody also be blessing and prosperity, their families and animals that they have, and for myself and my family, and extended family of friends that I have, and my animals, the animals and their family. So thank you, and blessings to the whole world, especially now. What's going on too in Russia and this pandemic still. May everybody be prosperous and healthy and whole, and blessings. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. And Donna.
I would like to send blessings and gratitude for Michelle and the messages that she provided that were so needed and valued. And everyone who was on this call, and the journalists and humanitarian workers who are risking their lives to provide us with the information of what is happening abroad. And as everyone said, the Russians and Ukrainians and the neighboring countries and Europe and the world.
Excellent. Thank you. And Christine, did I call you? I did. Okay.
Yes, you did.
All right. I for some reason drew a blank there. So if I missed anyone, I know there's a number on the screen, 19254513209, that isn't connected to audio and has the camera off. So, but anyway, and we thank the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Reiki masters, but most especially we thank Jesus, Master Katumi, Master Buddha, the angels, archangels, ascended masters, Reiki masters, and our ancestors, all the beings in spirit that guide us. We thank and live in a place of gratitude and love, no matter what else is happening around us. We know that we can make the choice to keep our peace, to go back to center, to connect with the threefold flame inside our hearts, and become part of the living God of whom we are a part of. And we can spread God's light just by looking at people with love, with compassion, with tenderness, with understanding. And we thank the Elohim, the creator gods. We thank the great rays. We thank Metatron. We thank the healing angels. And every spirit that was ever created on any dimension, on any plane, in any universe that assists us with our journey through these times, however they appear to us. We thank all of this through the name of Jesus the Christ and through the name of I am. Amen. Namaste.
Amen. Namaste.
Thank you.
Allison had a quick question for Michelle, a general question, she said.
Yeah, so I was actually wondering, and anyone can answer too. I am a guardian for a lady who has dementia and also two young men who have different intellectual capabilities. And I'm actually wondering if anyone knows of a method where I could work with someone to help understand what it is that they want, because they can't communicate via words. And mentally, like, they don't process the same, but I believe that their spirit and heart obviously are just like ours. I just don't know how to ask.
I'd actually have to communicate with that person, but what I can tell you is because it's dementia, they don't really understand what they want either. So it's like two ways of you trying to understand. I would just take a little bit more patience and just be calm. And you can ask Spirit to guide you as to what they're trying to convey to you.
And I'm going to second that motion. I think that that's the most important thing. Tune into your intuitive sense, tune into internally and just say, what am I supposed to know about this person at this moment in time? It's always at this moment in time, and see what it is that downloads into you and act accordingly and trust the guidance that you get. Trust it, because as you trust it, you get more.
Okay, no, that's really helpful. Yeah, because one of them, the 94-year-old lady, her the director of nursing at her facility, assisted living facility, and the primary care physician want me to re-sign her do not resuscitate order. And I totally understand where they're coming from, but I finally just reconnected her with her family after probably 10 or plus years. And I just want to make sure. I think that when she saw her nephew, who's in his 70s, that, she felt a connection and is not ready to go. But I think they think that that's like us, wanting to see something and that it's not best for her. So I just want to make sure that, yeah. Thank you.
And sometimes with dementia, there are times where they are current. And then, so it's brief moments. And if you could catch those, you could get a lot of information. That's another thing. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all so much.
Michelle,
yes.
Michelle, this is Donna. I did put Alice's email in the chat. So if you send us information once you get your class settled and all of the details settled, if anyone has any questions, then we will be happy to send it on.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll publicize it in Rays of Healing along with this, your presentation.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye, Alice. Bye, Michelle. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye, Donna. Have a good night. Bye,
Thanks.
Alice.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
Bye,
Good-
Samantha.
Thank you again. God bless everybody.
You're welcome.